Office Depot is an office supply retailer that started in 1986. Thank you for your suggestion.
It's been a long time coming, but I'm leaving you in good hands. Sarah?
Thanks, Dad.
In business, you can count on things to change. That's why millions of companies count on Office Depot to help them take care of business.
Taking care of business.
Office Depot was founded in Boca Raton, Florida by entrepreneur F. Patrick Scher and two partners, Jack Kopkin and Stephen Doherty. The company opened its first retail store in Fort Lauderdale in October of 1986, and it proved successful enough that two more Office Depot stores appeared in Florida by the end of the year. The company continued to grow rapidly, and in 1987 it opened 7 more stores in Florida and Georgia, and sales topped $33 million. Scher did not have long to savor his success, however, for he died of leukemia scarcely a year after his first store had opened. The company adopted a strategy to have Office Depot continue to grow at a breakneck pace to trap market share before copycats got into the act. They planned to enter 10 new markets a year and add 50 stores a year. Although Office Depot opened only 16 stores in 1988, expanding into Kentucky, North Carolina, Tennessee, and Texas, the company met its goal in 1989 and 1990. Sales topped $132 million in 1988, and Office Depot went public in June with an initial public offering of more than 6 million shares. The office supply discount retail as a whole was proving wildly successful, although they accounted for only a small fraction of the office supply retail sales by the end of the decade. At least one analyst predicted in 1989 that discounters would form the fastest growing specialty retail segment for several years to come. The company achieved its success with stores that resembled nothing so much as warehouses. Their decor was functional and unassuming, in a style described by a reporter for Fortune as plain pipe rack, with merchandise stacked floor to ceiling on steel shelves. By 1989, Office Depot stores were averaging $150,000 in sales per week. Of course, lack of concern for the aesthetics of interior design characterized the company's competitors as well. By the end of 1990, the company boasted 122 stores scattered across 19 states and sales of $625 million. But things began to change. The office supply discount field became more crowded and competitive in the early 1990s as other companies, including OfficeMax and Bismarck, joined the lucrative industry. With the struggle for market share became more vigorous, Office Depot and Office Club decided to merge in 1991. At the end of the year, Office Depot had 229 stores and posted sales of $1.3 billion. Office Depot saw its sales of office machines, including personal computers, begin to grow by leaps and bounds, and the company began to emphasize this side of its business more strongly. In May of 1993, Office Depot acquired the office supply operations of contract stationer Wilson Stationery and Printing, a subsidiary of Steelcase Inc. The deal was valued at $16.5 million. In the next year, the company bought 3 more contract stationers. By 1994, Office Depot had grown to 362 stores, which still followed the company's original concept, warehouse-like buildings that stocked office supplies at 30 to 60% off manufacturers' list prices. The company's closest competitor, the Kmart Corporation subsidiary OfficeMax, was only half its size. In September of 1996, Office Depot agreed to be acquired by Staples, its largest competitor, in a deal estimated at $4 billion. As these two companies were number 1 and 2, respectively, among discount chains, questions about antitrust violations were quickly raised. The two companies would eventually walk away from the merger after the FTC stepped in. The company began its international push in August of 1998 with the acquisition of Viking Office Products for $2.7 billion in stock. Based in Torrance, California, Viking was the largest direct mail marketer of office products in the world. Of Viking's $1.29 billion in 1997 revenues, 60% was generated outside the United States. It operated 11 delivery centers in Europe and Australia. Office Depot ended the decade with 825 stores in the United States and Canada, and 32 overseas. By the beginning of the 2000s, Office Depot was hurt by heightened competition from warehouse discounters, particularly Costco Wholesale Corporation and Sam's Club, who made aggressive moves into some of the most profitable office supplies categories, including computer paper, toner, and ink, forcing price cuts. After 4 years of losing sales, the company made a turnaround. In February of 2004, it rolled out its first ever customer loyalty program, the Office Depot Advantage, which rewarded customers who spent as little as $200 in a 3-month period with a gift certificate good for future purchases. By 2004, its rival Staples had 1,400 stores compared to the 900-unit-strong Office Depot. On February 20th, 2013, Office Depot and Office Max announced a merger that would combine an all-stock deal. The merger was completed on November 5th, 2013. In May of 2014, Office Depot announced the closure of 400 stores due to declining sales and customer migration to e-retailers. On February 4th, 2015, it was announced that rival Staples had agreed to purchase Office Depot in a cash and stock deal worth approximately $6.3 billion. However, the Federal Trade Commission voted to block the merger in December of 2015. It would be the company's second attempt at a merger that would have created a monopoly in the office supplies market. In 2017, Office Depot bought technology services firm CompuCom to position the company to provide technology services. 4 years later, Office Depot acquired enterprise procurement software provider BuyerQuest. In 2020, Office Depot announced plans to cut about 13,000 jobs and close certain retail stores by the end of 2023 in a bid to curb costs and focus on its IT service business units. The company expected to restructure to yield up to $860 million in net savings and incurred charges of up to $543 million. From the beginning of 2020 to January of 2023, 327 locations nationwide were closed. Today, the company operates 933 retail stores in the United States under the Office Depot and Office Max brands, as well as on e-commerce sites. So what do you remember about this place? Leave a comment or a suggestion for a future video below. And if you haven't already, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. Another Eric C. production.